Israel, it's time for you to get with the real world. You had an opportunity, 75 years, to create the Jewish homeland. You didn't do it. You can't do it because it's incompatible with reality. It's incompatible with the Arab world. We have a lot of the Arab countries that want to normalize relations with you, but they only do that if there's a genuine two-state solution. It's time for Israel to get rid of its current group of politicians, Bibi Netanyahu and such, and bring in somebody like a Yitzhak Rabin, a very strong leader who believed in peace. He was killed for it. He was killed by followers of Bibi Netanyahu. Bibi Netanyahu openly called for his assassination. He says, I didn't, but you were there, Bibi, when they were saying, kill Yitzhak Rabin, and you didn't say, no, don't do that. You were going, let's go, let's go. You called him a Nazi, and so now he's dead. You're in power and you're destroying Israel. You've destroyed Israel, Bibi Netanyahu. It's time for him to go. It's time for a new generation of Israeli leaders to come in who recognize Zionism as a disease and the necessity to have a two-state solution that does away with Israeli exceptionalism. It makes Israel part of a community of nations that respects one another. That's a tall order. It's not going to happen by itself. It can only happen if there's more violence in the world. And I think what's going to have to happen is Hezbollah is going to have to come into this fight. And when they do, Iran will back up Hezbollah. And at that point in time, the United States will step in and say, we're done. It's over. Israel, stop. We can't support this anymore.
Scott, what is giving Israel the confidence that, they can go in and pretty much dictate what's going on in that area right now? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of confidence from the soldiers who are talking on the media, from the government of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, who's saying, hey, we're going to go in there. This is what we're going to do. And we're not going to stop till it's done. Then having the support of the Americans. I mean, it does really confuse people when they're trying to understand, one side is saying this is a terrorist attack. The other side is saying, this has been going on for many years. I mean, let's try to really break this down and understand, from the average person watching this from North America, what has America and Israel really got themselves into here? And, as you mentioned, Hezbollah, are they to be underestimated?
Well, first of all, what gives Israel the confidence is history. Israel's always gotten away with this. But lately their confidence has been tempered somewhat by failure. Look, Israel got beat badly by Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, and they had to retreat. Israel doesn't retreat, but they retreated this time. Israel got beat badly by Hezbollah in 2006, and their military is humiliated. And Israel took a big smack to the face by Hamas in 2014. So what you're seeing right now are politicians who are backed into a corner. What else is Benjamin Netanyahu going to say? Peace is breaking out all over. Kumbaya, let's hold hands, sing Kumbaya. I suddenly have seen the light. No, he's going to double down on stupid. He's going to double down on what Israel's done. Arrogance, hubris, violence, the Dahiya formula. It was predictable that Israel was going to go. Doesn't Israel understand that they walked into a trap? I mean, the sad thing is Hamas set a trap using the Palestinian people as bait. We have to acknowledge that. We have to be upfront about that. Hamas is using 2 million Palestinians as bait. The reason why the world is turning on Israel isn't because of some recognition of, how bad Zionism is. It's because they're tired of seeing dead babies get stacked up in Gaza. Hamas knew Israel was going to do this because Israel has a written policy, the Dahiya policy, that's been in place since 2006. Overwhelming response, disproportional violence against the civilian population. And the sad thing is the United States knew about this and we've condoned it. We've turned a blind eye. It's a war crime. It's a literal war crime. The Israeli policy, as it's formally articulated, is a crime against humanity, a crime against civilian populations. But nobody says it because it's Israel. Israel's special. Israel's exceptional. But the world is tired of seeing stacked dead babies. The hypocrisy of the European Union calling out Russia wrongfully, by the way, about the so-called siege of Mariupol, where the Ukrainian government said that Russia's blocking electricity, water, food, supplies. Russia wasn't doing anything of the nature. They were actually bringing it in. But It was spun up a way so everybody came out, the Americans, the Europeans, saying what the Russians are doing, this blockade is a crime against humanity. Evil, evil Russians, evil Putin. Israel's doing it right now in Gaza, and not a damn word from anybody. Why? Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. You talked about the Israeli soldiers saying things. I'll tell you what, I've been doing military stuff my entire life. There ain't confidence in those Israeli soldiers' eyes. I've looked at the videos of the pep talks. They are scared to death. First of all, most of them are reservists. And that means that they did their 3 years and they got out and they thought they were going to live a nice life doing IT and making money, getting their little man buns and going around the world being cool. And now they're back in uniform, being told they're going to carry out one of the most difficult military operations imaginable, large-scale urban combat, and they don't have the training. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the equipment. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have confidence in their leadership. Their leadership doesn't have confidence in their leadership. This is a scared military, very frightened military. The Israeli special forces have gotten slapped around. Sayeret Matkal, the elite commando unit, the Delta Force of Israel, has suffered by some estimates, 20% casualties in the initial response. The Flotilla 13, the Navy SEALs of Israel, slapped around. Shaldag, their air commandos, slapped around. You name it, they've been slapped around. It's not going well for Israel. Now, Hamas is losing a lot of guys too, but they always expected to lose a lot of guys. Hamas is dug in. Israel's dropping bombs on Gaza designed to collapse buried structures that are 60 feet below the ground. Hamas is down to 85 to 100 feet. They're riding this attack out. They've been planning this for years. They're not starving. They have food. They're not thirsty. They have water. They don't have, electricity. They had generators put in, backup after backup after backup. They are ready for an 85 to 90-day war. And they know that Israel is going to respond by bombing the civilians. And by bombing the civilians, the international community is going to turn away against Israel. That's what's going on right now. The community is turning on Israel, not because they have a deep understanding of what Israel is and how wrong that is for the Middle East, but because they're just tired of seeing dead babies pile up.